We can kind of.
Yeah. Welcome in, guys. Tuesday's show.
Tuesday.
Yep.
You're not seeing double. It's both of us in the same place at the same damn time.
That's kind of creepy.
I know. That's what I was saying. Jeez Louise. Here I am. I got DraftKings open. Trying to get the old team set up here. Jamie was eating some food.
This is all pure moonshine. So I'm gonna be drunk before the show's over with. Just kidding.
Never
just
a bad
water.
Thing. Never a bad thing. And I go with the old tried and true here. Get a true classic tequila from the Rock. Do you smell what the Olive Rhythm boys are cooking? Let's get a little.
There we go.
A little shot of this here. Oh yeah, just Jamie. That's perfect. Just enough for a shot.
Oh damn! Look at that. Oh, so
cheers, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, we're on a little late tonight. Things are a little off this week. I'm not sure if there will be a Friday show or not, but just a lot of things going on this week, and I'm moving some shit around, and
he's moving some stuff around, and 5th wedding anniversary is going on for Jamie. So
yeah.
No, you gotta make the wifey happy, and I think you're gonna do a little trip. So
yep.
Maybe I'll hop on. Maybe I'll come in the studio myself. Maybe they'll give me the keys to the palace here. I'll come in. Maybe I'll get Zach from 12 Man. Maybe Buddy. I don't know. Maybe my goddamn brother who lost his first place position.
Ooh.
Yeah. You're not in first place anymore. You're not far. You're coming. You're not far behind. You'll the way them boys been playing in that league, man. You'll be there eventually. But.
Right.
Oh, he's taking the shades off.
Yeah, I got a little foggy.
All that he's breaking character.
Yeah, all this hot air up in here, man. Fuck. Right. It's getting kind of crazy.
Well, I look like I joined a metal hardcore band. I'm rocking the black hoodie and a black hat and all my Mickey Mouse tattoos here. Like, I don't know, man. Like we're doing things a little different tonight for a reason.
Yeah.
We're here together, kind of changing up the wardrobe a little bit.
Yeah.
Because tonight, with all the things that have been going on in the league, all the injuries and the uncertainty. Because we're a quarter into the season, aren't we?
Oh yeah. No, well, not quite. Maybe week 6.
Okay, so maybe close to it. We're 22% into the league. So gotta get things straightened out. We thought we'd talk about players tonight. We talk about who you should go with. Like, what are your best options in PPR? And maybe like I was toying with DraftKings. Maybe I'll do a live DraftKings team for you too, and we'll put an entry in towards the end. So kind of see how I would set something up, and I might just do the basic 9-man salary cap deal. So. So we'll get into some of these injuries and who you think or who we think you guys should go and grab, and who we grab ourselves, and who's available in different formats of leagues.
Yeah.
And,
most definitely.
So, but no, we'll kind of review what happened, with the games in week 4 a little bit. We'll probably start off with that, and then we'll get into the players. But speaking of what, like, dude, what'd you think of some of the week 4 action?
I didn't really see a whole lot of action too much myself. Actually, I was actually out and about a little bit on Sunday. So
he's being modest. He was just zoned in on that Cowboys game. He's just like,
no, I was actually about 17 miles out of town. So, but I actually I had Red Zone on my phone. I had it plugged into that caddy so I can actually hear it and stuff like that. So I didn't really watch any games. And when I came back, I watched a few of the end of the games. Trying to think who it was. Pretty much the afternoon games. I kind of saw some of those. They were kind of interesting. And
Cards Panthers was pretty good. Like
yeah,
the
that was
afternoon
pretty
games.
interesting. The other thing was the Jags actually played pretty decent. Then they let the Eagles.
They did. They as
actually,
good as the Eagles are, they went toe to
yeah.
toe. I mean, it wasn't a blowout by any means. So,
No, oh
Jacksonville
God, no.
They can hang now. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not deep playoff team, Super Bowl team or anything, but I wouldn't be with as many injuries as Indy has and as inconsistent as the Titans are and as bad as the Texans are. I could see Jacksonville possibly sneaking that division out and getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Question.
I
mean, their defense. I mean, I looked at the stat. I mean, we'll bring them up probably in some of these players we're going to review. But I mean, dude, their defense has actually been playing pretty damn good. Got Trevor Lawrence getting better and better. I trust Doug Peterson. He's a good coach.
Yeah, he's actually playing. He's actually a pretty good coach. I like him. I mean, I'm kind of glad he actually went with the Jaguars and kind of turned that.
Yeah, he did.
Turn that league around.
They got a good backfield. Robinson and Etienne.
Yeah.
They got some Agnew, the receiver. He stepped up.
He did.
Well, I think Marvin Jones is a little long in the tooth, but there's a few. Love Christian Kirk. They got some stuff going on. I still think they need a better tight end, but
yeah,
they got stuff going on, and they were competitive. Speaking of a competitive game, so you didn't catch any of that Baltimore Buffalo game?
No, I didn't.
Great.
No, I didn't. But
Buffalo came from behind. Basically, Buffalo came from behind and got the last minute win. But I thought we were getting smaller. He's moving us around.
No, I was actually gonna pull up something here quick. I was actually doing
Microsoft Word.
Yeah, so I was doing some different things here the other day. Oh well, fuck. Yeah, I don't know.
I go without headphones. Who gives a shit?
Tonight is just tonight's all just kind of weird and funky, and who knows. But yeah, what I was doing was kind of actually some different shit here. If I can find what I'm looking for, I was actually kind of breaking down like all the, there it is.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Open.
My question: are they gonna have my boy Bailey Zapp in there? That's what I'm wondering.
I'm not sure.
You're saying there's a chance. Okay.
Yeah, there might be. I gotta find all the. There we go. There it is.
Could be more tequila. The anticipation is killing me.
I know, right? So I was actually kind of breaking down the whole AC, like the AFC division, like Buffalo, like so pretty much like right now most of the targets are going toward the wide receivers. The running back targets are about 36%. So I mean, so let's back up here a second. So the wide receiver target's been about 77 targets already. That's about 60% of the pie. And you got running. So you got the running back targets about 36 targets already. The running back's about 28%, and then you got tight ends about 14. So that's about 11% of the targets. So you can kind of see where some of that stuff is going. So I mean, you got Josh Allen up in there. So right now, Singletary's kind of got most of the yard. I mean, their yard wise are pretty low.
That's for running backs. That's pathetic.
I
think the tight end target percentage is pathetic. Dawson Knox is a comp. He's not Kelsey or Andrews or anything, but he's a solid tight end. That's pathetic that you can't get him the ball more.
Yeah.
It's just they're super, and it's great for Diggs owners and Gabe Davis and those kind of guys. But the Shakir kid, I like him. He's coming up. But, it's too reliant on Josh Allen, and the pro, experts say it, we say it. It's just and if Josh Allen goes down, and for anybody that has him on a fantasy team or for the Bills in general, I mean they're
it's not good at all.
Yeah.
I was looking at, so I was kind of breaking all this stuff down. I mean, I'll put fantasy points in here later on sometime, but I was kind of just getting some statistics and stuff like that set up for myself. Right now, Diggs has got like 35, 35 targets. That's almost 26% of the targets out of the wide receiving crew there. You got Isaiah McKenzie with about 11% of the targets. And you got, a lot of people are hyped up on Gabe Davis, and he's only got 8% of the targets right now. So you can kind of see where everything's going right now. I mean,
I like these stats. We'll have to get them for the whole.
Yeah,
I think Jamie pulled it up because we were talking about the Bills, and he's got all the AFC East so far.
Yeah.
So we'll try to get something together for the whole league.
Yeah,
so
and that's
great stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually that's what I'm kind of working on, to put something like this together throughout the whole year. I'm gonna have all the 32 teams, and this is stuff we can kind of look back at, so we can relate or kind of conversate during the season or whatever.
The year.
Yeah.
Okay, Diggs's target percentage was 27%.
Yeah.
Week 4. Now at week 17, it's it's 30%.
Yeah.
Or McKenzie got hurt and they have to do so. Yeah, no, and go down the list. Yeah, Dolphins.
Yeah.
We had that, and Jets and Patriots. I don't really care.
Yeah.
About, but we can do the Dolphins quick.
Yeah, I mean, right now most of the targets are going to the wide receivers. They got 70 targets. That's almost 69% of the pie. The RB targets about 19, so that's about 18%. Then you got tight end targets about 12, and that's about 11% of the target. So overall targets, 101 targets all overall with the Dolphins. But I mean, right now you can kind of see where I don't know if these. I'll have to look at these season wise. These might have been for the week, maybe, but I'm not sure if those. I'll have to go back and look. But for 79 yards total for that might be actually right. So none of the running backs have
for 3. No, so that was after week 3. We'd have to get week 4 updated. But
yeah,
this is after week 3.
That might be still right.
I mean, that's pathetic.
Well,
you're leading.
I think that is correct because you got Waddle and Tariq got so that might be almost pretty well correct.
I mean, I know Edmonds been in the end zone a couple times. We've seen him there, but that's just kind of a realization. Like, wow, the running back's just not that important anymore. Yeah, because him and Mostert, neither of them. We have to see after that, that game on Thursday. But
for sure,
after 3 weeks, neither of them had 80 yards, and that's pathetic, especially for a 3-0 team.
You'd
assume different, but
with the Patriots, they're pretty similar. 59 targets for the wide receivers. That's about 61%. The running backs about 21. That's about 21%. Tight end targets about 16. So that's about 16%.
She got a tight end.
Yep. So these are things that we can kind of break down throughout the season and kind of talk about which guys are kind of get more of the touches, which guys are kind of.
Yeah, no, that looks great. That looks great.
It was kind of funny because they were actually talking about the Rams game last night, where really Cup was actually a guy that Stafford was targeting, and none of the other guys were actually quite involved.
I saw that too. I didn't I kind of was here and there with the game, but kind of in and out. But I thought the same thing. I'm like, that's every time you look up at the screen and the Rams are on offense, it's Cup.
Yep.
It's Cup. It's Cup. And then you'll see Akers for a 2-yard loss or something.
Yep.
It was it's pathetic. It's like they had the Rams. Okay, right now they're what, 2-2?
I think so.
Defending Super Bowl champs, and there's no great. Even Kansas City, I don't think is great. So there's no reason the Rams couldn't, if they fix a few things, get back and win another Super Bowl. So why would you not? Here you go. Here's me. Here's me. Other side is Odell. Yes. Odell, Sean McVay. How you doing, bud? Yeah, we need you back. Allen Robinson is junk. He's junk. That Skowronek, whatever the hell his name is, he's not serviceable. My main man Van Jefferson's hurt.
Well, he's not. He's
not.
an IR, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So is it an ego thing? Is it a money thing? Like, why wouldn't Odell, dude, you can win another Super Bowl, help your status, it's good. You can be in LA. Come on. You live in LA for another year and probably get a couple $1 million. Just, I don't know what it is. Why they won't reach out to him, why he won't sign a contract, I don't know which way it's going.
Well,
but
right now he's actually free agent, and
He is, yeah.
the thing is he's actually still recovering from his ACL tear. So,
buddy.
yeah. Oh, so, buddy, I think you lost this weekend, didn't you? To somebody that's not even playing.
Yeah, we don't usually talk about league stuff on Tuesdays, but I mean that's like the upset of the century. I mean, in our 12-man league that we do with the Twin Turbo, like Anthony would be like the equivalent. It'd be like the equivalent of the Texans beating the Eagles right now. It's just yeah. It's kind of. But I mean, any given Sunday, I guess. Any given Sunday.
Yeah, I think so.
They won.
Something like that.
But yeah, no, like what Jamie was saying though, it's
right. Well,
what were you saying? I need some more tequila.
A lot of people are actually adding Odell. And honestly, I don't even know why. Because he's not just because he entered like the freaking Giants freaking building for shits and giggles. Everybody's thinking he might get signed, but he's not recovered from his ACL tear yet. So I think
so it's the ACL tear that the teams are scared of.
Yep. Yeah, he's not quite fully, because he injured his ACL in actually February. So he's got about, it takes about 9 months, roughly 10 months. So I mean, he might come back at the end of this year, probably.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I could see a couple different teams, and the way the Giants are playing right now too. I mean, they won again. They beat the Bears. They're 3-1.
Yeah,
that's where he made his bones at. I mean, he was a New York Giant before he was ever a Ram.
So, and
Brown, we forget about those Browns years.
But, yeah,
I
think he played.
That'd be kind of cool. Either he goes back to the Rams or he goes back to the Giants. I think that'd be cool either way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, more than likely, I think so. It's one of those things. But overall, we should.
Yeah, we won't talk about that Chiefs-Bucks game. That was a train wreck. I mean, we.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony, how's that Brady working out for you? And that Cordell Patterson. Horrible. You like that trade now? You wish you probably had Barkley, didn't you?
That's a nice way. Jamie's a nice guy. That's a nice way of saying, how does my ass taste? You want me to pour some hot sauce on that shit? You want to get up in that? Huh? Or Cholula sauce. Is that the Cholula sauce? Is that the really good stuff that they have at Qdoba?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there we go. That's your flavor, Anthony. Here you go.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
right.
It's
players?
Yeah, it's getting some players, stuff like that. For sure. Most of the guys right now, well, with Javonte Williams being out, freaking Cordell Patterson freaking on IR. I'm trying to. Who's the other? There was a couple other guys too.
Yeah, I got a whole list of guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who. I know there was quite a few of them.
Trying to think. They're talking about John Taylor might be out this week.
Yeah, it's very possible he might be out this week. So just kind of, he's playing Thursday. So everybody just kind of keep an eye on that a little bit.
So it's kind of a mental, some mental gymnastics going on. Kind of some strategizing. Like, it depends where your team is at. Like, the format and size of the league and all that. Okay, do you look for a 1 week answer? Because I think John Taylor, Indy is dependent if they're going to go anywhere this year, and they are. They're. I thought they were worse than they are, but I mean, Matt Ryan, I guess, isn't a shot as I originally thought. I mean, he's serviceable, so they could still technically make the playoffs.
I think they were making a pun with Taylor and Russell Wilson on the Thursday night head screen. Kind of the bad. What the heck is it? Super Bowl 28-3. Yeah, some director or something. They were making a pun. So yeah.
No, but do you do you look for a 1 week answer? Are you looking? For Cordero, it's more of a 4 week answer.
Yeah. So
Javonte's out for the year. So there's 3 different scenarios with 3 highly productive backs. And you got to replace that production. I mean, that's hard for any owner because running backs are thin in every side. 12-man, 10-man, 16-man, 20-man, whatever format you're playing, running backs are always thin. So just from Jamie, from your perspective, dude, Like what do you do in each of these scenarios? You know, the 1 week, the 4 week, and the season long. Like what are you doing there, and who's available to fill in there?
Well, it actually comes down to if somebody's got, well, I'm sure somebody's got Gordon on their roster. So the guy who has
Anthony.
so the guy who actually has Gordon can actually
I think his feelings are hurt. He doesn't even listen anymore. Yeah. Anthony, where are you at?
So
comment.
So what I was thinking here is the people who's got Gordon, they can actually trade, some assets to the guy who had Javonte Williams for to maybe help their team out. When it comes to, you could probably do a 2-for-1, maybe possibly with Gordon, even though he's kind of shitty. But you got Mike Boone out there. He's actually Boone might be a little bit better.
Were you impressed? He had 3 carries for 20
yards.
That
game was kind of.
It was a small sample size. But are you going to invest a bunch in Mike Boone?
Well, they actually
they just signed Latavius Murray from the Saints practice squad. And I mean, Latavius was a productive back maybe 5-6 years ago.
Oh yeah, he was
the Raiders, and I think he was with Baltimore for a cup of coffee and Saints. So he at various points he's been a semi-productive back.
Yeah.
So is Melvin, in Denver's situation, is Melvin, you think, going to be the number 1 guy, or is it going to be a running back by committee where they kind of work all 3?
I think they'll go Gordon first because he's been there, and then I think they'll kind of tie in a little bit of Boone and Murray. But far as I know, Boone was actually out there a little bit more in the second half than what Gordon was actually on the field. So it's kind of a wishy-washy, but for sure Gordon's going to be probably their main guy, and then they'll probably kind of see what happens with the other 2 guys. And I guess it all depends too. If Gordon fumbles, and then they'll give Boone more touches. So and it all depends on where you're at with your rosters. If you got them, if you're able to actually make moves to get. I mean, Boone, yeah, go ahead and try to get him on your guys' rosters for sure. I mean, it's not going to hurt to have him on your roster. The other guy is Cordell Patterson. He's actually
Atlanta.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about Atlanta here for a second. So you have Tyler Algier.
Yep.
Who Jamie smartly, because we've talked like off air, just shooting the shit about how I don't know, do I drop him? Do I trade him? And because you were on this, you've been on this guy since he was drafted back in spring. So like you've been all over this guy. And then you kind of like, oh well, what's gonna happen? We didn't see Cordero going down, but now that he is, you have him on a couple teams. You look like a genius because he had 10 carries for over 80 yards on Sunday. And then they have the other kid, Caleb Huntley. Like, do you think they're going to be a dual running back tandem?
I mean, I think they'll go with Algier
or do they sign a veteran? Like, what do you think Atlanta does while Cordero?
Well, I haven't heard any words yet on them signing anybody yet, but so right now it's probably going to be those 2 guys. But Algier will be one guy you want to get in your guys' teams if you can tonight. He'll be their number 1 guy for right now until Patterson comes back. So Huntley will be kind of the second guy in the running. So
do you think Algier is actually available in any size league? I mean, he's maybe 10. I was thinking maybe 10-man. He might be out there. 12-man. Yeah, take a look quick.
Yeah, I was going to take a look here quick and see, since we're talking running backs and stuff like that.
Because I'm curious. Some of these guys, I mean, it's almost like a wish list. If they're there, like when in one of the 12-man we do and we don't talk about, me and Jamie are in. When I saw Dak was there, I'm like, what moron dropped him? And immediately go pick him up, stash him on IR. Because you don't let Dak Prescott just sit out there. And so with this situation, I think Algier is an absolute must grab.
He is. I actually got him in 3 of my 6 leagues I'm in.
Yeah, you look like a genius. I'd almost see if he can do it one more week. If he gets a decent number of rushing attempts and some targets through the air again. Week 6 on, you might be able to like permanently start this guy at least while Cordero's out.
Yeah,
so, get 3-4
he's
right.
He's about 20% rostered right now, so I'm sure he's that'll be skyrocketing after tonight. But there's for sure small leagues if you need a running back, if you need the help or somebody else you can help more likely drop. Go for it. I mean, I'm sure there's some guys that are hurting in a lot of leagues and need running backs and. Yeah, so pretty much anywhere from 10-man, 12 maybe not so much, 14, 16 not so much, maybe a few 12, but in most deep leagues people like him can be rostered already. But
yeah, you heard it from the source. You heard it from the man.
So right now, in most leagues, Murray Boone and Tyler Huntley or Caleb Huntley are be kind of the two guys people are probably like chasing after. Well, the other thing is too is if Taylor does not play on Thursday,
what do you think the chance?
Naeem Hines.
From what I heard, dude, I think it's probably 25-75. He doesn't play. So.
Yeah, so just for precautions, if you got Naeem Hines, he might be able, he probably won't hurt to have him on your guys' lineups. So it all comes down.
Could you flex if you have Hines? Could you flex him, or would you keep him on the bench?
I wouldn't have him in the bench, or I wouldn't have him on your flex, but in the main roster. I mean, if you're really needing somebody for Thursday night, if you're the Taylor guy, and hopefully maybe you had Naeem Hines, but more likely not because Taylor never gets hurt. So more likely, do
you go with Philip Lindsay or do you go with Deion Jackson? Like if it's not Hines, like which Indy backup running back?
I think from what I heard, I think Lindsay is going to be kind of giving. I think he's going to be up in the third. So I think it's going to go Naeem Hines and then Lindsay afterwards.
He's worse than me. He finds a new home every year. he was in Houston, and then before that he was in Denver.
Yeah. Well, he was in Denver first, then he went to Houston. Now he's with the Colts.
Goodness, he's working his way all around the AFC. Maybe he'll be in Cincy next. I don't know. Gosh, good golly. So what do you think? What do you think about Tua being out for? So we're assuming it's just a week for concussion protocol, right?
Yep.
There was some messed up shit that I was reading about Jamie thinks it's a back, which is totally understandable. I don't know. I'd like to think that they know, like the Dolphins and the coaching staff, like they know like the consequences of sending a player out there that showed signs of a concussion, like that the whole world's. I mean, everybody watches this stuff every week. That we can obviously see Tua, and then after what happened in that Bills game where he was kind of falling down when he came up from that hit, and then come back, and then Thursday night against the Bengals, have that happen, whereas he looked like, not to be like mean or anything, but he looked like Mr. Spock, with his hands up in the air and lobster hands and just I mean, it was a scary shit.
Oh yeah, it is.
I'm glad Tua's good and he's gonna be all right, but just putting him out there, I mean, sometimes that can put somebody's life in danger, having a concussion and 2 concussions in that short amount of time. So I mean, Jamie thinks it was a back thing. I don't know. I'm kind of suspicious. Dolphins are trying to be relevant. They actually have somebody that's playing good at quarterback right now. They're just like, we got to pound through this. But you got Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy is the best backup in the league. It's not even you can't even debate that. Teddy, Cooper Rush, get out of here. Cooper Rush had a couple good games. Teddy Bridgewater was a good starter in Minnesota. He was a good starter with the Saints. Panthers, that was Denver was kind of but I mean, in terms of like having somebody I trust in there for a couple weeks, there's nobody like Teddy Bridgewater. He's the best backup in the league. So if you got to put him, he probably should have played against the Bengals too, but he's damn sure going to play this week. Dude, do you let's say Tua was your guy, because Teddy's going to be available in some leagues.
Yeah, I actually got Tua in a couple. Well, actually, I got Tua in a league. So that's.
Question: do you put him in do you put Tua on IR for a week and then go grab Teddy? Do you grab somebody else? Like, what are you doing in that situation?
If you have an opportunity
for Tua owners,
yeah, if you have an opportunity, I go get Brady, or not Brady. Go get Bridgewater for sure. If not, I mean, it depends on size of the league. Maybe Goff. Well, probably not. Well, Goff might be all right.
He's been. I mean, their defense is anybody that's playing the Lions' defense. By the way, that's why I brought up Bailey Zapp from He might not be the worst option against that defense, because they are terrible. They made Geno Smith look like goddamn Justin Herbert. So Lions' defense is junk. But what was I saying? This is awkward. Help! Help!
Well, see, the only downfall of Bridgewater is
Teddy. Yeah,
I thought they were playing the Bills. Sorry, they're actually playing the Jets, so it's actually a good matchup. So The other. So Goff, Geno Smith.
That's what Jared Goff.
Yeah,
he's looked good.
Yeah, he's actually has looked pretty good. So I mean, the funny thing is they actually scored the most points. They have actually scored the most points here
in the league. Yeah, Lions got a good offense,
but their record is kind of not showing it. But defense. Yeah, okay. So there's Kenny Pickett, maybe Zach Wilson. If you need help, Zach Wilson actually didn't look too bad. He actually looked pretty good. So I mean,
he's still. I mean, to me, he's a backup in any of these leagues. I wouldn't start him in 16. I wouldn't start him.
But if you need a 1 week replacement, if you're,
absolutely.
So I mean, if you're a tool guy or something, so if you're a tool guy, I mean, you have a few options. I mean, if Goff might be one. If not, I mean, get Teddy for sure if you can. If not, I mean, I would probably shoot for Zach Wilson, Kenny Pickett, or Goff for sure. Geno Smith probably at the bottom of the list, but I would go Teddy, Zach Wilson, Pickett, Goff.
Saints defense is mediocre though. I can't believe I'm saying, because I've trashed this guy for years. I trashed him when he was with the Jets. I've trashed him with the Seahawks, and I actually might if in a pinch. I trust Geno Smith. I could actually see myself if I had Tua and I needed a week and I couldn't get my hands on Teddy, I couldn't get my hands on Zach Wilson. I'd go with Geno Smith. I might even go with Geno Smith if my cap space is limited. I might go with Geno Smith on my DraftKings team. He looked bad against the 49ers, but the other games this year against Denver, Detroit, I forget who else. Atlanta, he looked good in all three of those games.
So let me go a bit. So Bridgewater first, and then we'll go Goff, and then Wilson, and then Geno Smith, and then Kenny Pickett be the number 5. But they play in the Bills, so that'd be a pretty hard game. So those are kind of that's where I would kind of put guys as far as trying to pick up guys. That's kind of how I'd rank them, I guess.
And the only reason I'm even putting Pickett at 5 because I think Brissett is a more established quarterback, and Pickett made a lot of mistakes. He threw 3 picks.
He might have had 3, but
it's the playmate. Pittsburgh has players. Yeah, if this kid finds out what he's doing, he's got weapons up the ass. He's got a running game. The offensive line is terrible, but he's got a stud running back. He's got some weapons on the out. He's already, and this is going to help, dude. This is going to help George Pickens owners too.
Oh yeah,
we had lost faith for a little bit in George Pickens, but this opens the door. George Pickens could finally start doing what we thought he'd be doing, which is getting 90 yards every week. So let's
see here.
So that was for quarterbacks. So you're I brought my boy Bailey Zapp up. I think Mac Jones might be out again in week 5. Do you kick the tires at all on 1 week for Bailey Zapp? If you're in a pinch, if you can't get a lot of the guys we listed, because the only reason I bring this up, Jamie, is he looked decent against the Packers. Had it's 99 yards and a touchdown. It was like your high school quarterback.
Yeah, most definitely.
They kept it simple but the guy put Jamie last year at Western Kentucky. Guy put up almost 6,000 yards. 62 touchdowns.
God damn.
Yeah, that's both.
He was throwing dimes left and right
both records in college. The guy knows what he's doing. And the Lions have by far the worst defense in the league. Not even close. Do you kick the tires on Bailey Zapp, or if you can't bring yourself to that, do you DFS him? If you want to load up on JJ and load up on Chase and load up on Saquon and guys like that, and you want a cheap quarterback, what way what if any usage could you see with Bailey Zapp in week 5?
Yeah, Zapp might be all right in the DFS lineup possibly, but I'm sure there won't be too many people playing him because he's just kind of unknown because he's not really. So I would probably out in Zapp for sure, just because it's New England and yeah.
I think their offense is junk too. But I don't know. I was okay. It's okay, this kid's got something. I was watching that Patriots-Packers game, and I was another game. We didn't bring it up, but it was another tight when the Packers just won the last-second field goal in overtime. But I was impressed. Yeah, he was poised. He didn't make any mistakes. He handled his business for the little bit he played, and I was like, against Detroit's if this was like San Francisco's defense or good, I wouldn't even or against Tampa Bay's pass rush or something like that. I'd be like, no, this kid's gonna get eaten alive. But against Detroit's defense, I could see him in a pinch. But I mean, it would have to be like, okay, DFS is one thing. That's it.
Yeah.
And you want to just skate by a week and get a cheap quarterback so you can load up on your other players. That's fine. In a quarterback, it would have to be something like what your 10-man league is, where you have two quarterbacks.
Yeah, possibly.
Like in a two quarterback starting league, like
probably.
You have, I think you might be, if in a pinch, you might be able to go with Bailey Zapp. But in a one quarterback league, absolutely
no. Yeah, absolutely. I can see in a two quarterback league, yeah, more than likely if you're really needing somebody, yeah, for sure. I mean, he'll probably like get picked up for sure. I mean, I probably wouldn't want to play him, but I mean, if you have no choice in it, yeah, I mean, you're gonna want points as much as you can.
Putting it down like only Jamie can.
Let's see, it's, wide receivers. Yes, and a bunch of
receivers or tight ends.
Tight ends are kind of shitty. I mean, wide receivers.
There's one guy that I've fallen in love with, and I put in a request. But yeah, we can get to receivers, but I'll get to my boy Will Disley in just a minute.
Yeah, yeah, we can get into some wide receivers.
Okay, so I'll start off, dude.
Because
I have him on in our 16-man. I have him on my bench. Try to trade him away to you, Josh, but you wouldn't take him, and you're gonna pay the price for it. But so Keenan Allen. How much patience do you have for the? He's too good to drop, but if you can't deal him, like what do you do with Keenan Allen because he doesn't even qualify for IR? Because I tried to IR him this week and I had to drop like DJ Chark in that league.
Yeah,
because he doesn't even qualify for IR anymore. But what do you do because you don't know up until Friday or Saturday if this guy's playing every week?
Yep, you just have to leave.
Too good to drop.
Yep, you just leave a guy like him. You just leave on your bench. You can't really do anything about.
Really do anything with
him. You just leave on your bench unless there's somebody in the league that really wants, Allen. Sure, try to trade him away for something, tight or wide receiver that's at least top 15 wide receiver at least because Allen can be a top 10, top 5 wide receiver anytime.
When he's on, when he's healthy, he's top. Yeah, absolutely, without question. I mean, we're talking Pro Bowl level guy. It's just frustrating when you've got him on your, you're like, okay, at least if he's Javonte Williams, okay, he's out for the year. I have no choice. I have to make do. I have to figure this out. Or if he's Cordero, okay, he's going to be out about a month. Okay, it sucks, but I got to figure. See, Keenan Allen, the frustrating part is you don't know week in because they say, oh, it reports day to day. Oh, report questionable. And then he never ends up playing. He hasn't played since probably the first half of game one. So it's very frustrating with him. Another guy, not as frustrating, but you're losing the production there. Yeah, Jamie's pulling up some fantasy. Our boys in the fantasy footballers. He's looking that up. I was going to bring up Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was out in week 4. And that's helped, Josh Reynolds. I think Josh Reynolds might be available. And so I know he was available in one of the 12-man leagues we're in. So Josh Reynolds might still be out there if you're looking for receiver help. And he's been very productive. He's been one of the unsung heroes, especially in that potent Detroit offense. But St. Brown, even if he's back this week, I mean, Detroit, I don't know if he's going to be I don't think he's going to be up to full strength until probably week 6. So for this week, I'd lay low on St. Brown. I'd keep him on the bench and I'd try to figure it out because it's most. Do you remember what his injury was?
I think it was his ankle or leg or something. One of those two things.
Those usually don't heal. I mean, they take a few weeks to. If it's minor, it's still going to take a few weeks to get back to. Because he was playing like an elite level receiver before that. The first 3 weeks of the year. So
I'm actually just trying to find some consistency charts on Keenan Allen here real quick. Since we're talking about Keenan Allen here, I was going to look at what he kind of did so far.
I'll tell you my consistency on Keenan Allen. I'm trying to trade him. I'm trying to ship him out. So if you're in 16-man league, that's speaking of you, Jared. I haven't seen Jared chime in yet. Yeah, I see you, Jared. At 0-4, how does that make you feel? Let's make a deal, Jared. But about to break down the reasons why we should make a deal, Jared. Pull that up, sucker. So Lamar. So okay, I just saw that quick when Jamie. I didn't know that. I didn't know Lamar Jackson was the number 1 fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, he has.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's been an
animal.
Yeah.
Do you want Jared Goff's number 5?
So pretty much.
Jesus Christ, Jared Goff. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm shocked. Jared Goff is the number 5 fantasy PPR quarterback.
Yep.
Woo!
So his consistency first week was 18, and week 2 he was 8. You know, he went back down to 18 week 3, but he was the top guy at.
It's like he's back with the Rams again.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff he was doing with McVay. Like what? Holy crap!
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not the problem. It's that defense. Like, he's actually playing pretty damn well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
that's shocking because he's in smaller leagues he's still available. Like that people are just kind of letting it's Jared Goff, just kind of because of what we did. We're like, it's Jared Goff. But shit, I mean, especially a DFS. Like I'm not sure what he's going to cost this week in whatever matchup you get involved in or contest. But I mean, Jared Goff's definitely, the way he's been playing, definitely looking at, you don't need to spend you don't. I love that chart because that just shows you don't have to spend the big bucks on Mahomes every week. You don't have to spend the big bucks on Lamar. Yep. You can get somebody at budget value.
Yeah. So Diggs here like Diggs. He was a top 6. He was almost top 5. Week 2 he was top 1. In week 3 he was under 35. Even week 4 he was under 35th for top 36. Anyways, I mean you can see each one's consistency. So Waddle was a top 15. He went to 22nd. In last week he was a 57th ranked player. So I mean, I'm going to try
Cup. From what I've seen, Cup is very consistent.
Yep.
They didn't get his 49ers weekend yet, but I guarantee he'll be in the top 20 for that too.
Oh, more likely. I mean, he had he'll probably the top 10 at least. He was in the top because he had 14 receptions, 149 yards, and so he had I think he had 26, 27 points because he was the only guy getting targets. So I mean, it's one of those things.
But no, if Amon St. Brown, if he had played this week, he'd probably be in the top, probably right up there with Jefferson in points. I mean, that's a huge. We were just talking about St. Brown. That was a huge loss for the Lions.
I mean, right now, I mean, Mike Williams.
He's ahead of Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. I didn't know Chris Olave was that high. Damn.
Yeah, he's top 15 in fantasy points, already 50 points. So, I mean, the first couple of weeks it was kind of bad. In his last couple of weeks, I mean, he's been 6th, 14th. So, I mean, he's kind of coming along, and a lot of it is coming with that air. It's funny because a lot of them are talking about the air yards, the distance and stuff like that. Most air yards, when it comes to air yards to receivers, it actually ends up showing a receiver on pace for actually being finishing in the top 10. So it's very possible Chris Olave could possibly finish in the top 10 or top 15 by the end of the year.
Good golly.
Yep.
And you go down the list, Dotson, Jahan Dotson, the rookie, he from Washington, he's still available in a lot of smaller leagues, and I'm perplexed by that too. He's the number 21 PPR fantasy guy. Right now he's questionable for week 5, but still, I put in a request for him in one of our leagues, and I'm like, why is he still there?
Yep, Dotson in London.
And Corey Davis I've seen available too.
He's actually going to be. He's actually. I think I've seen here. I'm just looking at ads. A lot of people are trying to add him because of his big game last week. I mean, Corey Davis, he was top 31, 19, 74th. Week 3.
He had one stinker against the Bengals, and then the other 3 weeks, I mean, he's been the top 30 basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, Corey Davis,
I was actually trying to find where in the heck.
DK has been heating up for the Seahawks
Yeah.
the last couple of weeks, so DK has been looking good. Romeo Dubs, and that's going to help too. Dubs is number 35 in PPR receiver points right now.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks, he's been a top 23 receiver. Sammy Watkins is on the IR, so and you can kiss him goodbye, and that might be more action for Christian Watson. Who knows? But I think Dubs will be a big player. Him, obviously.
Didn't we have
Lazard, but
didn't we have a little thing with DJ Moore last week, where I said, play somebody over DJ Moore?
You're on. When you're on. Jamie. He has not had one single week where he's been in the top 27. Like, we've had 4 weeks this season. He has not been a top 27 PPR receiver in any of those weeks.
Nope.
Absolutely pathetic. And we were talking about his age too. Is like, okay, is he getting up there? He's only 25 years old. You trade him. That's the only thing I can think of. He's got to have value. I mean, this guy 2 years ago was a Pro Bowl level wide receiver, dude.
Yep.
He didn't score any touchdowns, but the guy was the clear number 1 in Carolina. Now it's like he's barely a starter.
Yeah, it is. And the other thing too is like Elijah.
I couldn't believe it when you said it, but now I look into evidence straight in your eye. You're like, yeah, like he. But yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the other guy too is like Elijah Moore. I mean, he's somebody you drafted high. I think either 5th or 6th, pretty high up in there.
Elijah Moore hasn't had a single top 40 receiver week at all.
Nope, he's kind of like vanished, gone, poof.
Louise.
Yep.
Robbie Anderson, who's a complete bum. I mean, he had week 1. He was the 10th. Rated receiver.
Yeah,
this is some great. We should pull this up every week. I like this, man.
Yeah.
This is good. This is courtesy of the fantasy footballers, man. These guys are great.
Yeah.
But the guy I was talking about from Jacksonville a little earlier, Jamal Agnew.
Yeah.
If he can put up weeks like, and it might just be a one and done.
It very well might be.
Let these guys blip up for a week and then go back to obscurity. But if he can kind of get that going with Lawrence and give them a number 2. Or number 3 to work with.
Yeah, more than likely.
It's going to help Jacksonville's offense for sure. And fantasy owners, I've seen Agnew available in some.
Yeah, a lot of people are kind of at him right, unless there was an injury somewhere. And that's the other thing.
12 man, like 16, I think he's off the board. A lot of the leagues, but 12 man, he might be available.
16, he might be available. Because no one's really going to really know about him too much until after this game. So very likely he can either be picked up in a lot of deeper leagues.
Our boy George Pickens here, going down the list here. Yep, and that's a Kenny Pickens effect because this was his first top 65 receiver week.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's number 18 this week. So that's great. That's great news. And
I know I got him in a few leagues, and I might try to snag him up if I can too. But
I'm gonna snag up this list here. This is, this is Microsoft Excel on steroids. This is great shit.
It is.
Put this up on the screen for everybody.
Jesus
Christ. Let's to rub one out to this.
Well, see, the thing is, I was actually trying to find. The other thing too, you hear a lot of people are high on Allen Robinson.
That's why I'm coughing up that bullshit.
Allen Robinson, I didn't like him from the start. No matter even though he got traded to the Rams, he was 108th.
I liked him. Jamie, I liked him 1 year in Jacksonville, and that was the 2017 AFC Championship year.
Yeah.
Other than that, this guy has been he's rode that for 5 damn years. He's not a good receiver. I'm sorry. Rams wasted money on him. They or traded or whatever the hell they did.
Yeah.
Like, bring back Odell. Odell gets healthy, kick Allen Robinson to the curb, and bring back Odell. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, no, it's amazing to see some of these. Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's number 8 in points right now for fantasy PPR. But Garrett Wilson's only had one good week. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, he must have just blown up in week 2.
Well, there was 1 week he actually.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The rest of the weeks he's been very.
Yeah, there was
been very average.
Week 2 he had that high. I think it was 2 touchdown game.
Yeah.
With So I mean that's one of the reasons why he's kind of up here. I mean, he's almost in the top 20. Wilson, I think there was a couple other guys too. Maybe not.
But no, that's a great list. The receivers and just kind of who's undervalued by people. Like the fact that you could get. I mean, Duvernay. I mean, I know people were rushing to pick him up after week 1, but I mean, a lot of people didn't even draft Devin Duvernay.
Yeah, he might even be out there in some smaller leagues too.
Smaller leagues. Devin Duvernay might still be there, and it's like he's. I know he popped week 1, but definitely Dotson. I don't get how Dawson's had 3 weeks inside the top 20 for PPR receivers. I don't know how Dotson is not on rosters. I think that's criminal.
I drafted him in a lot of my leagues. I was able to get him in.
He had stinker week 3. Philly,
but
everybody stinks against Philly.
They play Tennessee this week, so I think Dotson will play. He should rebound. He should be in at least top 20 at least.
Close to that, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, you're and then your boy Amari, like just when he had 2 top 10 weeks, and then it sandwiched in between 2 shitty,
Move camera.
Yeah, right. It's like who it's like Slim Shady said. Would the real Amari Cooper please stand up?
Yep.
Because I don't know which he's like Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what Amari.
I was actually.
Has
Keenan Allen not played that much?
No, dude, he got 10 points in like the first half or 3 quarters in that first game. Other than that, Keenan Allen has not. That's what I'm saying, dude. He isn't, and he's been toying with people. Toying with me. It's tearing up my heart, Keenan. You know what this is about.
Damn. So pretty much 1 week, 45.
Yeah.
Missed 2 games.
Yeah, dude.
Did he try to play? No, maybe not. Yeah.
He's behind Randall Cobb, who's like 85 years old in fantasy point. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he's top 107th guy. He hasn't played only 8 points, so.
I know. It's just funny. It's like, what the?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this?
Crazy. Anyways, yeah, those are some of the wide receiver stuff. I'm trying to think who else is kind of out there. That's Pickens would be one guy.
You think George is available?
Oh yeah.
What?
George is only 40%.
What planet are you on?
George is only 40% rostered.
But like, I'm perplexed. I thought people would have been
in smaller 10-man. Yeah, he'd probably be out there.
No, the question is with him. Do you think people lost patience because they didn't know? I mean, we kind of saw it in the preseason. He had a good rapport with Pickett, and we knew what could happen if Pickett was in there. But maybe people thought that Trubisky would play longer than he did. Like, do you think that people lost patience with George? Because I thought he was rostered more, week 1.
I overall in most Yahoo leagues, he's only 40% rostered. So after him having this great game, a lot of people are like, "Ooh, got to get him back on
George,
there."
Yeah.
I know I dropped him in one other league. I didn't really want to drop him because I didn't think he was actually going to play. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, it's like, damn,
your patience paid. That's why you're a champion. Your patience is paid off. You're patient with Algier. You've been patient with Pickens.
Yeah,
I still think you should be patient with Darnell Mooney too. Because I saw.
Yeah, I didn't drop him or anything like that. He had his good weeks.
He did.
So I mean, if he has another good week, then maybe try to get off him. Try to sell him if I can. See if anybody's. The only thing is,
value is
pretty much.
Michael Thomas. Do you think Michael Thomas is going to play this week from the Saints?
I'm not sure. I guess if he was out only this week, he should. If he's back next week, yeah, get him into your lineups for sure. I mean, I think it was just a foot or ankle, one of those two. Oh, the other thing is too.
Speaking of Saints, what about Jameis? Jameis, and then we'll get to Alvin Kamara. Do you think Jameis is going to play this week?
I didn't look into what I think it was.
Back.
Yeah, one with your if it's the back, it's probably going to be kind of like game time decision. So yeah, because I've had back problems and stuff like that, and if your back's not feeling, you lose more mobility with your back.
Because all them heavy transmissions.
I know. Yeah. So your back is the main part of kind of holding yourself up. So if your back's stiff or you can't move, you're going to play like shit. So yeah.
No, do you what was I saying?
I kind of lost.
Jameis was probably, I don't know about like 12-man leagues if he was, but definitely in 16 he was a starting quarterback. for fantasy.
Yeah.
Maybe 12 too. I'm not sure. Did you go and like in that situation, if Jameis is going to be out for another week, do you go and do you get his back? Like Andy Dalton, I think is junk. I don't know.
Well, he did all right. I mean, Chris Olave had with the
or do you
backup,
think he has enough weapons around him that Dalton can put up a decent game? Like, what do you think?
Well,
I wouldn't touch Dalton, but what do you think?
I mean, if it comes down to it, I mean, Dalton, why not? I mean, play if you need a guy, yeah. I don't see why Dalton's. I mean, Dalton's been good. I mean, he's a very good veteran quarterback. I mean, you got rookies, you got the Saints. They got good wide receivers, so I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to put up numbers. You got Landry, Olave. I mean, just look at what Olave did. I mean, he actually had himself a good game, even with the backup.
Start a new chant. Olave, 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 Olave.
There we go. We'll have to.
Get a soccer chant going for Chris Olave. If he keeps putting up these weeks, we will.
We'll have to sound clip that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if Olave is going to do this, I mean, keep in your lineups. I mean, I would if he's playing like this until he has a dud game. Then because I actually started him too in a couple leagues. I got him in a couple leagues. I just left him in there and I went to sleep, woke up, he had like 14, 16 points. So I'm just like, if he's going to continue this, I mean, I would. Kamara, it was kind of a shit. I know. I was kind of pissed.
Hurting you to say.
Yeah. Well, as far as I know, he was, I think it was one of those game time decisions out. And there was a bunch of rumor, or was it guys that like were in the teams like, he was actually projected to actually play. And then he must have just been a late scratch. I'm not sure. I think it still might have been his ribs or something along those lines. So so there was people out there in the fantasy world that wanted to swap Kamara out with somebody else that was more likely on their bench. But it's either like you get up in the morning, check your teams, or you just face the facts that you just get a 0. There was a lot of people out there.
I did check my team, and luckily, like in the league, we don't talk about the 12-man. I had Kamara. I ended up winning by a point.
Yeah,
but that would have definitely pissed me off because he was supposed to play.
Yep.
And then like a game time decision, he was out. So so I understand people's frustration for week. I got screwed too in week 4.
Yep, I did too.
Jamie did.
It was in my, I think it was Dynasty League, because Kamara was out and I didn't even know it, and because I went to sleep and figured he was playing and wake up and I'm like, fuck.
And running back is so thin that it's like
it is.
If there's a last second, there's a huge drop off between, even at this point in his career, there's a huge drop off between Alvin Kamara and the guy on your bench or the free agent.
Yeah.
So that's a guy you really can't. You kind of have to start. It's like a Keenan Allen thing. You have to start him until you can't. Like you have to hold him up to that point Sunday, Saturday, and so I mean it's a hard rock and a hard place basically when you have a guy of Kamara's caliber.
Yeah, for sure.
So we got Saints covered. Christian Watson, if he's,
I dropped him.
You don't know. It's not a huge thing with Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins wasn't doing shit, but like Christian Watkins, you don't think he's going to get more looks now?
No.
You think it's going to be? I'm thinking it's going to be mainly Dubs and Lazard going forward.
Yeah. You get Cobb up in there too. So I mean, right now Watson.
He's 85 years old.
Yeah, but yeah.
How is he doing this?
But either way, I had Watson in some leagues. I'm like, I dropped him. I mean, it's not even a second guess. Just drop him. Dobbs is actually playing a little bit better. I think it's going to come down to once Watson kind of gets a little bit more of a. Okay, let's back up here for a second. Dobbs is actually having a better rapport with Rodgers right now than Watson. So I think down the road, Watson will actually be better in the second half when they actually need him.
So you just you keep him in the if you're in a smaller
league, drop him.
You keep
12.
You keep him on the waiver wire.
I think
it's 16. I think you got 16. I think you can put him on the bench.
Maybe, but I think in 10, 12 big total drop.
Let's compromise. So about 20. If you're in a 20-man league, I think
20-man league,
you can find a spot for Christian Watson.
Yeah, 20-man league. I think you can. Actually, I am in a 20-man league.
That's why I'm asking. I can only imagine who you have on your bench.
I can actually tell.
I want to hear this. This is going to be entertaining. Who is actually on a 20-man roster? We know this. Like, I want to see the starters, and I want to see the bench guys in the 20-man roster. So just see how thin.
So in this 20-man roster team, I forgot to actually draft. So I actually ended up pretty good. So I actually have Herbert. I added and dropped some guys already, but I have Michael Carter. I got Najee. I got Godwin. I got Ayukin. I got Cole Kmet. I got Marquise Brown. I got for my kicker, I got Jake Elliott. Got the Cowboys defense. So on my bench, I got Jimmy. I got Wilson. I got Dotson. I got Dobbs. I got Ingram, and I got the Raiders defense.
Okay, it's not as sketchy as I thought it would be.
But yeah, in this league, the waivers run consistently, so you can add. So as soon as somebody gets hurt, you can go out and add drop. So in this league,
you don't have to wait till Wednesday.
Yeah, so this is like pretty much a free for all. So if you're up on date, you can go up and just.
You almost need to in a 20-man league when things are so thin.
Right out there for QBs.
Who's available in a 20? I want to see who's available. Like some of the guys.
So some of the guys that could be available in a 20-man league, you got Hoyer, Zappe, Dobbs. So all these. So
Bailey's. So you're saying there's a chance Bailey Zapp.
So Hoyer or Zapp. Zapp is probably the only guy actually on the waiver wire in these smaller leagues. Running backs, a lot of them are going to be taken. Actually, Tyler Algier, Mike Boone is actually available.
Tyler Algier is available in this 20-man league?
Yep.
What the hell?
Yeah, right.
You serious?
Yep.
Why are you not on him? Why are you not adding him right now as we speak? What is this?
It's hard because
what is this?
I have Wilson as my like a backup. So would you drop Wilson for Tyler Algier?
Which will? There's a lot of Wilsons.
Jeff Wilson, running back for 49ers. So
that's actually tough.
Yeah.
I see your point. Yeah.
Yeah. So my backups, I have Jimmy G.
Yep.
I got Jeff Wilson.
Yes.
I got Dotson, Dobbs as my wide receiver. I probably could
drop Oakland's. You don't need defense.
It's very hard because every other team has actually got two defenses, and I was thinking about dropping a defense, but looking at the waiver wire is actually there's nothing at all.
There's not a single defense that you could put in for a week if you needed to. That's all you really need. Dallas defense, you can start 16. Or whatever fantasy.
So I can tell you
15 and 16 games.
So Giants are the only defense available in this 20-man league.
They're actually not that bad. I don't know. I'm just I'm like, how is Algier like that? Who are some of these other clowns that people have on their rosters that you can't find a place for Tyler Algier?
I know.
Especially now that Cordero, there should have been a bum rush to get this guy.
I was thinking about adding Algier, but I'm just like, God.
I would clean up nice in this 20-man. Maybe that's another thing I need to test. This is the first time I've done 16, man. Maybe next year is the first time I do 20. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, dude, who else we got, Jimmy? Quick, like running backs.
Running backs, quick. Let me look. There we go. So we got Murray, Reynolds, Jackson, D. Hillard. So a lot of these second, third guys. There'll be a lot of guys that are in the waiver wire, so pretty much like Murray, C. Reynolds,
Deion Jackson.
Yep. Jackson, Pernine, Coleman, the third or the second guy, Jalen Warren from the
Raiders.
No, Steelers.
Oh,
yep. So a lot of these are going to be your second and third guys. So a lot of these guys are just pretty much no-namers. They don't like Dallas, DJ Dallas, he's kind of here and there, but
you don't see him much.
No, so when it comes to so pretty much when it comes to running backs in a lot of deeper leagues, a lot of these guys are gonna be taken. So when Jeff Wilson came available, I actually heard it. I pretty much literally trying to remember who I dropped from, but I went out and
it's like when I go to the bar and try to pick up women, they're all taken.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
I end up with the fat chick.
But so it's all different. It depends on how your league set up. When it comes to, I mean, there's maybe a slim chance of that. Algier is out there in some leagues.
That's what I mean. That's why I was shocked that somebody of his what he's about to do these next few weeks. So I'm like, good.
Well, next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe these next
White
4 weeks.
On rice. Get on.
So hopefully maybe he can actually turn it up and actually be something.
Turn it up. Okay. Well, I can kind of assume who the receiver. Let me see tight ends. I want to see let's see if Will Dissly's available.
Yeah, Will Dissly.
That's my boy. That's first tight end. What I'm going to talk about when we get tight ends here.
So so Dissly's out there, Molly Cox, and that's pretty much for like a 20-man.
Okay. Yeah, that's about the same as 16. Those two guys.
I got Atkins. You got Molly Cox. Ian Thomas. Uzama's out there. But these guys are, Swam. Yeah. Ooh, Isaiah Likely is a guy to kind of keep an eye on too. If he might get some, he might be a little off a little bit.
It's so hard because if something happens to Mark Andrews, there'll be a bum rush to get him.
Yeah.
But
Isaiah will be a guy to actually really get after. But let's go back here to some other leagues now. But yeah, 20-man is a very interesting. And I played in this one last year, and I try to remember what I placed. I'm trying to remember. I think I'm trying to think if I'll have to go back and take a look. I can't remember. I know I placed pretty high in that. It was pretty fun. It's pretty much a free for all. No, you don't have to worry about no waivers or anything. You just drop people as you go. It's pretty cool.
I like that. None of that bullshit.
Yeah, so in a lot of smaller 10-mans. Will Disley, Hayden Hurst, Molly Cox, Hill, Taysom Hill.
You know what the hell he is.
Yeah. Conklin, Tanyan actually had a touchdown this weekend.
Tanyan's available.
Yep. Logan Thomas, Evan Ingram. These are smaller leagues, but if you get into a lot of these bigger leagues,
those guys will all be snatched up.
Yep. Hey, kitty.
What's up, Bert?
Yep.
What's up, Bert?
All right. So if somebody needs, go ahead.
Do you think? Okay. I forget who Indy had a couple weeks ago, but he had a 2-touchdown game.
Oh, that's Woods.
What? Yeah. So Woods had a 2-touchdown game. Mo Ali Cox had a 2-touchdown game. Do you think it's just the Colts' offensive system and Matt Ryan getting the ball to the? Because Mo Ali Cox, if you look at a 1-week snapshot, he's like that. Those are like Kelsey numbers, like 6 grabs, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. Do you think Mo Ali? Because a lot of these leagues, you need a backup tight end. I need a backup tight end.
Yeah.
I put in our 16-man. I put in for Will Dissly. Cole Kmet ain't getting the job done, so I'm gonna drop Cole Kmet and try to get Dissly. So
that makes sense.
Of the two, Jamie, Dissly, he's had 3 great games this year. Gino's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah.
If you can't get Dissly, my question is the next best option Mo Ali Cox, or is it somebody maybe like Evan Ingram from Jacksonville? I think Ingram's available in quite a few leagues.
Yeah,
I like him with especially Lawrence.
Yeah, I got Ingram in a few leagues just because I needed another guy. If you think about it, Will Dissly is actually playing pretty decent. First 3 weeks, he's
pretty
better
much Noah Fant. I didn't think anybody thought that going into the year. He's a better tight end than Noah Fant.
Yeah, from what I heard, they actually have a 3-headed monster with tight end. So honestly, it's going to be like which guy is going to get the. But I think Will Dissly should be getting more of the reps or targets, anyways. When it comes down to that, he's actually he's a top 10 in the top 10 as far as fantasy points. He's actually
he's a number 9. What?
Yeah.
Good golly, man. He and Conklin was available. He was actually available until probably maybe week 3, probably a week or 2 ago. Like Conklin was available in a lot of leagues. He's the number 8 guy.
Yep.
It's good we're going over this quick. So, Dissly's at 9. Dissly's had 3 top 7 tight end weeks.
Yeah.
Like that's incredible.
And I've actually
Will Dissly.
He's only 26 years old too, and I've been kind of thinking about. I was like, because Evan Ingram's kind of been hit and miss a little bit.
Why is there not a bum rush to go and? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. I mean, with the Seattle actually kind of having a run game and not so much with a passing game as much. They have so many tight ends. It's either going to vary on which tight end's going to get which. I mean, which tight end's actually going to get targets.
See, and
Molay Cox is actually 12th right now. I mean, if you look at his game log, I mean, top 30, top 41, top 50. And last week was only he actually was a top 2.
See, that's what I mean. Was he a flash in the pan, or is he? It's just going to be like somebody like Higbee, and I obviously he's part of one of the trades that I did in one of our leagues. But
yeah,
Higbee's very consistent. I like consistent guys. Dallas Goedert, he's not number 6 right now, and he's not Kelsey, but Dallas Goedert's very. You know what you're going to get out of Dallas Goedert every week. He's not going to get anything less than 7. He's going to get somewhere between 7 to 11 points every week. You can count on him to do that.
Yeah.
Gerald Everett has a little more high end.
I made the mistake of actually leaving Everett on the bench.
Which league?
I can't remember which one. But
man,
I know he actually had a pretty good day too, and I was pissed. I was like, God damn it, dude!
Speaking of people that you well, I guess you don't really care for, but Hawkinson, I didn't know he was having that good of a year.
I mean,
he's number 3 PPR tight end.
Well, if you think about it, that he had that number 1 week, so that kind of helped out with those 2 touchdowns. He had 30 some odd points. So I mean, it's he hasn't really done anything really that really pop. It's
he popped it. I mean, he popped this week though.
Yeah.
And then obviously Mark.
Mark
had a slow week 4, but I mean him and Kelsey are still 1A.
So here's the bad thing about tight ends. Tight ends are always going to be a wash. It's you're gonna be trying to pick and through which guy is gonna be good, which guy do you want, because you're gonna have your top 5 guys are gonna be great. Kelsey, Andrews, Goddard, maybe Muth. It all just varies, but there's two main guys that are kind of like the head guys. Then the rest are kind of like,
but they're kind of okay. The way I see it, I don't know how you can explain how you see it too, but they're kind of auxiliary players, meaning that you're going to win. You're going to get the meat and potatoes with your quarterbacks, your running backs, and your receivers. But to win close matchups, which is what a lot of these are, you're not going to be playing Anthony's every week. You're not going to be playing cream puffs that are 2-12 teams. You're going to be playing guys that are 10-4, 11-3. You're going to be playing high-end competition some weeks, or guys. Hey, Jamie, you better get your fantasy football team going.
I'm not sure who that is, but okay.
Yeah, Remain Anonymous. We'll hide you until you say who you are. But no, but those close matchups, Jamie, they're won by the 3 points difference in tight end. The tight end got you 9 instead of 6.
Yep.
That's 3 points right there. The kicker got you. Justin Tucker gets you 10 over the Mason Crosby gets you 7. That's 3 points right there. Defense. San Francisco's defense gets you 11 over the Giants defense who gets you 8. Like those 3 I call them the rule. So you have the rules of 9. Well, this is the rules of 3. So it's those 3 points in all these different categories of these less sexy positions that end up winning a lot of these close fantasy matchups. So I look at them as very important. You might not see you think tight ends are a certain way, but from my perspective, I'm like I take them I take kickers seriously. I take defenses seriously. I don't carry 2 kickers or defenses, but that's dumb.
Yeah.
Maybe in your 20 man, it's not because it's very, very thin. Maybe you do need to carry a second defense just to have one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't carry them because they really aren't all that important.
In smaller leagues,
they're
not
interchangeable, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tight end. Travis Kelce can single-handedly win you a week. If you have a high-end guy like him and Mark Andrews, he can single-handedly when your team shit the bed, and you need 21 points, Kelce can get you that.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying though with like maybe tight ends 6 through 25. They're kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
So I get what you're kind of saying there.
Yeah.
They're kind of, most of them are interchangeable. But when you get one of those elite guys, you're set.
Yeah,
You're golden.
you're pretty much it. And then after those couple league guys, it's all kind of be kind of.
What's going on with Darren Waller this year? Why is he's like 11th? Like what's he's had two good games start off the year. He's had 2 slow weeks here. What's going on?
I mean, I would think he'd be a little bit higher, but
because he'd be one we call a top 5 elite type, kind of guy.
Like, yeah, that's where he should be. But with the Raiders not really doing much, and that can't figure out who in the hell they are, and it's going to show. I mean, he had quite. Trying to remember what he finished. I think he finished in the top 10 far as like fantasy points last year, and far as now, it's kind of like I'm sure there's going to be some guys. I know I have Waller in a league or two, and I know I'm kind of frustrated with him because he was actually supposed to be somebody that actually getting targets, but probably with Adams there, that's kind of takes away from a lot of that, because Adams is that target.
Spend all that money on Devontae and don't mean nothing,
right?
It's still bad.
Yep.
And you still got Josh Jacobs as your running back. We all know he's terrible.
Irv
He's
Smith
terrible. Irv Smith is down there too. What's going on with Irv?
Yeah,
he's number 20.
Yeah, he is.
Kyle Pitts? Is that how like Mariota's just not using him, or like what's going on? Is he been dinged up? Like what's wrong with Pitts? Good Lord.
Actually, I'm glad
he's behind somebody named Colby Parkinson. What? What is this?
Yeah, it's crazy to see how bad Kyle Pitts is from what he was last year.
Yeah,
he had one good game, but other than that, he's been.
And that had to. I mean, he's probably what, the 5th or 6th tight end off the board.
Probably 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, maybe even higher. Like, dude, like he's not.
He was probably 3rd because you would go Kelsey, Andrews, and probably Pitts.
Yeah, so he was probably a top 3, 4 tight end pick, and he's just been shit in the bed.
Yep.
You've not got anything out of him.
Well, if you think about it, the Falcons they're not really that great. They've been kind of tossing it. So I think it was
all Cordero.
Yep.
He was their offense. Like, I don't know what they're going to do now.
Well, maybe with him being out, that might change quite a bit.
I hope so. I mean, for Kyle Pitts' owner's sake, I mean, he's a stud. I mean, he's too good to be this far. He's too good to be behind Colby Parkinson. Sorry.
And O.J. Howard.
And O.J. Howard, who had one good game. O.J. Howard, let's see, he scored, other than that monster week 1, he scored 3.7 points in this last week. That's his best game since. I mean, he's a joke.
So here's Jelani Woods. I mean, he was like a top 100 for 91 the next week.
Yep.
And then
Pops
the third, Pops 3, and then Mo Alley Cox has that monster game week 4, and so he's kind of.
Is that a trend though with the Colts tight ends? Is that going to be a trend? Like 2 weeks in a row they've had 2 touchdowns.
Well, they might be looking at their tight ends a little bit more with maybe Taylor if he's not playing, or if he's kind of.
That's what I'm wondering, because you could probably get both those guys.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Woods. Oh yeah, both.
If you're in a 16-man league or a DFS, in a contest or something, like I'd consider either of those guys, because they're not going to have Taylor. They either shit the bed like they did against Jacksonville and score a big goose egg there, or they do what they did against Kansas City and show up and win a football game and put up offense and the tight end tears it up. Dawson Knox he's been kind of dinged up.
Yeah.
I think he's capable of much more than that. He hasn't been all that impressive. I was expecting, he was another guy I traded for, so I expected more out of him. Just kind of being patient because he had, because of last year he had 9 touchdowns. So I'm hoping some of that. Gesicki, he's, I don't know how McDaniel's offense there down in Miami, like, because he's been a good tight end the last couple of years, and
he was.
He had a good week 2, and so he's just kind of been irrelevant. Other than that, Noah Fant has been very.
I mean, out of those guys, Will Disley would be.
Of all the people, like we mentioned, like if you got to have one guy that's likely available, you go, you target Will Dissly. I want him. I hope tonight when the waiver wires go through, or when the waiver requests go through in our league, which we have to wait till Wednesday, I hope Will Dissly is on my roster and Cole Kmet is a free agent. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, but I suppose we better wrap this up.
Yeah. That's the most tight end talk you'll probably ever hear from anybody. And then defenses too, quick. I will close out. I've seen them in a lot of leagues, and I've been talking them up. Jacksonville's defense has scored double-digit points in 3 of the 4 matchups in PPR. So Jacksonville's defense, I've been impressed with the whole team, but their defense, pick them up. I don't care. Find a play, especially in a 16-man league. You could start them right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah.
Bad boy out.
Yeah, I think that kind of wraps up all of our waiver wire for tonight. So hopefully everybody gets who they want, and and also kind of watch who people drop too, because anybody who drops something could be a good guy to actually put on your roster too. So
there's always upgrades. You might not, this guy, it's like somebody else's trash. It's like he might not mean much to them, but that could be a weakness on your team where you're like, okay, he's actually a better running back than what I currently have. Let me look into this. Like if somebody was dumb enough to drop Jeff Wilson, for example.
Yeah.
Go and snatch him up, or go, whoever. Or if you think Cole Kmet could be a better backup tight end, go grab him. Like whatever, Molly Cox, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, boy.
But yeah, I think that kind of.
Yeah, you got to get going to. Yeah, you're going to work. Yeah,
I know, right? This is kind of another off Tuesday show, but
yeah. Oh well, it's kind of our thing.
Yeah, well, we need people want content, so it's just one of those things we do.
This thorough, bro. Yeah, we gave it to him.
Yeah, we did.
I love the little fantasy footballers chart. I'm gonna have to pull that up too when we do the normal Tuesday show. That was fantastic. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, there's things out there that a lot of people don't know exist.
I'm living in a bubble, Jamie.
You are. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe, and if you like the video, hit the like video. Fake book. I don't think there's anything you can do about that when we go live. You just hopefully you're there. Well, I think there's a notification button for when we do go live on Facebook. Twitch, I'm not sure. So, yeah. Whoever's out there, our Discord channel is actually out there too.
Discord. Boy.
Yeah, Discord's actually pretty cool. It's pretty cool place. If you want to. Actually, I lost my train of thought for a second there. Discord is actually pretty cool. I got a lot of in-game highlights, trades, groups or league stuff. Just a lot of things out there. DFS stuff. If you're into DFS, you can snapshot your DFS lineup, get some people's input on players there. I think that kind of wrapped everything up. I think so. Well, I think it's time to wrap it up. So, from the boys from Odd Rhythm, I'm Jamie.
I'm Eli's.
We are up out of here. So enjoy your
Tuesday night. Tequilas and taco.
Yes.
Tequilas and tacos. Words to live by.
All right. Later, guys.